Ladies and gentlemen, this is the fight that we had been waiting for. This is the fight that we knew was coming. Ever since the last one ended, we knew that there was going to be a third one. Look, I'm one of the people that believed that Max Holloway won the second. I thought this one was 1-1 going in, which just added to the drama of what we were going to see. On the scorecards, according to the records, it was 2-0 for Alexander Volkanovski, but even if that's what you believe, both of those fights were so good, and both of these men have set themselves apart from the competition by so much. This was the fight that we all wanted to see. It was going to define not only who was really truly on top currently, but this had historical connotations. I mean, when we talk about Max Holloway, we're talking about a man who is in the conversation as being the GOAT at 145 pounds, the greatest of all time. Really, it's between him and Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo was the first guy to ever hold the belt in the UFC at 145 pounds. He was the champion. Coming in, the belt was handed to him when the division was created. He lost to Conor McGregor, who didn't defend it. Then it's Max Holloway, who goes on to beat Jose Aldo twice. Goes on to rack up an incredible amount of victories. Then loses to Alexander Volkanovski. And Volkanovski has looked incredibly impressive himself. Both men have continued to set themselves apart from the competition. The stakes were incredibly high going into this one. And Volkanovski delivered. Alexander Volkanovski went out there and he put the stamp on the trilogy. He showed that not only is he currently the best in the division at 145 pounds, but that he needs to be considered in the conversation as an all-time great. We could see as soon as the first round started that Volkanovski was just dripping with confidence, man. He was sharp. He was fast. He was out there. He was talking to Max Holloway. He was telling him about how fast he was. He was saying that he was too fast for him. He was saying that he couldn't keep up. And it was true. I mean, look. Holloway was out there landing a couple shots. He wasn't out there getting completely outclassed. But when we watched this fight develop, Alexander Volkanovski was in complete control. By the end of the round, Max Holloway looked like he was operating at a speed that was just slightly slower. Volkanovski was building momentum. We could see where this one was going. By the second and the third round, as things were starting to develop, Volkanovski's really finding his stride. He's being defensively responsible. He's making Max miss. He's countering. He is just out there playing the matador to perfection. He's got Max Holloway following him around. Holloway is known as a man who beats people with his work rate. He's known as a man He's known as a man who applies pressure, breaks people down, starts to work angles, controls distance beautifully. He wasn't able to do any of those things. Volkanovski was even able to open up a nasty cut over Holloway's eye with just a beautiful right hand. I mean, he looks so locked in tonight. He must have just had an incredible training camp. He just continues to get better and better. I mean, look, I love the way that Max Holloway's corner kept it real after the fourth round, and they told him, you got to leave it all out there. You need to finish in this one. We're down 3-1. You've got to go out there. You've got to make something happen. That wasn't able to happen. He wasn't able to go out there and close the show. Volkanovski was just something else. And then afterwards, after this win, he's sitting there at the time that he has the microphone in his face, the post-fight interview, and he says, I'm going for it. I want to be the double champ. 145 pounds isn't enough for me. I've shown that I can dominate here. I want to move up to 155. Whoever ends up winning that fight, Charles Oliveira, somebody else, whoever gets the belt, doesn't matter. I want it. I want the next shot. I'm going to hold both divisions down. I'm going to keep both belts active. That's the type of guy he is. Great combination of power and speed. Incredibly high fight IQ. The way he's able to just slip shots and counter. Great fighter. Great fighter. Now, is he going to be able to actively defend both belts? I doubt it. Look, will the UFC even allow that to happen? That's a completely different conversation. But can he go up there and win it? Man, I don't know, but I sure do want to watch him try, especially after a performance like tonight. He set himself apart at 145 pounds. Congratulations to him. Absolutely great performance. And I don't think this is a story of Max Holloway slipping. I don't think this is a story of Max Holloway just not being able to show up. We saw what he did against Calvin Kattar and Yair Rodriguez. And yeah, it's true. He's absorbed a lot of punishment over his career. He's taken a lot of shots. But let's not read into this and make this about how Max Holloway may have dropped down a notch. We have no indication of that. The only thing that we saw is continued greatness by Alexander Volkanovski. This is the story of how he went out there and put a stamp on this with a great performance and set himself apart, not only from everybody else in the division, but now set himself apart from Max Holloway as well. Can't wait to see what's next for him. What did you guys think of this one? And do you think he's going to be able to be successful should he try and move up to 155 pounds?